I will shift the focus mainly now on cities, on urban and peri-urban areas, as I also belong to this new facility, Biocities facility of the European Forest Institute, that was just established less than 1 year ago, so very, very young, with the financial support of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Italy and Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry. And together with my colleague Matilda van den Bosch, we are preparing this presentation. She will tomorrow go more in detail, as she is chair of the non-communicable diseases. Now, very few words about the European Forest Institute. The European Forest Institute is the largest research network in Europe on forest research. It deals with forest resources mapping, with mapping and measuring and estimating the ecosystem services provided by forest ecosystems, and also about modeling on the forest and the timber value chain. Now, the question that you can pose is why from forest we go to cities. Actually, cities have proved to be a very successful system for developing innovation, for developing cultural interaction, for defense, of course, and also they have been able to connect in a very precise way to the surrounding environment and surrounding landscape. But having been so successful, there has been in the last 200 years a kind of explosion of the urban areas and urban activities, mainly covering only a few percent of the world land surface. They basically host most of the population right now, and they consume most of the energy and produce more than 70% of the greenhouse gas emissions. So this means that the urban areas are actually, the urban and peri-urban areas are actually one of the main causes of environmental crisis and of the present day climate change. And if we think to the next years, they are quite worrisome, as the forecasts say that the urban areas and the population in cities will still grow, and we will need in the next 30 years something like to build one new city every month of about 6 million people, something like Rio de Janeiro, but not so beautiful. And so basically, really, I think that we have to deal with the causes of climate change, and as cities are one of the causes, they should also be some of the solution. So this is why we moved also from forest and forest research to study the effect or the interaction, if you like, of trees, forests, microclimates in cities, climate change, and particularly also health. We proposed, this concept of biocities. I know very well that there are a lot of initiatives and activities around the world on promoting more sustainable cities. We talk about smart cities, we talk about green cities, but I think that it is important also to underline a kind of the need of a kind of holistic approach. And this is why we are also suggesting that a natural ecosystem, and particularly forest ecosystem, could be an interesting, let's say, model for improving the way we build and the way we manage our cities. Forest ecosystem, because as you can see from the picture below, they are based on a fluxes of renewable energy, renewable matter, recycling of renewable matter, storing carbon, in ecosystem even after the lifespan of the tree and of the biomass, and improving, I mean, the role of biodiversity, and I will try to show you also as important it is also from an health point of view. So one of these, I mean, key aspect is the circular bioeconomy that should be at the base of a new way and a new concept of cities, where trees and forests are not only important for beautifying or for improving, I mean, the environment in cities, but they are also important in terms of providing renewable resources like timber construction, providing also food as food and urban agriculture, a kind of circular bioeconomy approach, and obviously also providing a good space for social activities and for human health. From this point of view also, we developed in the meantime a research agenda for our research facility, and we published also very recently a book, and I brought some copies with me if you are interested to give a look on, I mean, how urban planning, architecture, and ecology and urban forester could, let's say, design a new way to develop cities. Now, very quickly, I will show you some of the key aspects of this concept of biocities that could be of interest from a health point of view, and where we are conducting already research activities. Of course, climate change and microclimate conditions are very important aspects, and interaction for people and trees and urban forests. Mitigation and adaptation are keywords from this point of view. Trees can improve not only the heat island effect, but also, this is important, they could also improve and actually make more efficient the energy consumption, for instance, for heating and cooling, with the reduction of up to 50% of the energy cost. Trees, forests, urban forests, peri-urban forests could be important in removing pollutants from the air, as we are conducting these studies here in some urban forests in Rome and around Rome, but in many other parts also of Europe and in other continents. Also, another interesting aspect is the fact that improving biodiversity could even improve the cooling effect of urban forests. So a lot of interaction with the microclimate and in general with the climate change issues in cities. Another interesting, let's say, series of aspects and issues that where we are already conducting research, but that need much more research, as Matilda will show you tomorrow, is about the role of biodiversity and the role of green areas from a physical health point of view, for instance, improving immunitarian system in kids and also in other ages, but also the role for improving the mental health issues, particularly in the young, even they have been even called the indoor generation, but also for older ages, for elder people, like, for instance, these these Alzheimer gardens. And beside these, urban forests could also be very important to improve economic, social, and health equity, and therefore reducing the cost of health services. Finally, also I want to underline the fact that in this approach and in this new concept of cities, also the biomaterial like wood, but many other types of biomaterials, for instance, bamboos or residues from agricultural production could be very important as biomaterial for construction. And at the same time, we have also to take into consideration that according to the new European Bauhaus program, also we need to combine beautiness and sustainability, for instance, working on design and other aspects. And finally, also, one important issue is also to work on indoor environment, and so the material that are used for indoor environment and for construction could be also another important subject for health research. And with this, I thank you, and I hope to provide you quite an overview of the interaction between trees, forest in cities and health. And more information will be given tomorrow by my colleague Matilda van den Bosch. Thanks a lot.